It doesn't matter what style of cheating it was, because that was a thing for me. Oh, it was just a kiss, blah, blah, blah. Think about how it makes you feel.
Right.
If this person didn't even actually go and fuck someone, whatever it was, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's based on how you feel. Do you feel like you were disrespected in the relationship? Whether it's he texted Junie B. Jones after work and you don't trust Junie B. Jones or whatever it is. Is this person actively respecting you in your relationship or actively disrespecting you and choosing to time and time again? How does that make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to affect your sex life too. It's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect your ability to keep trusting this person and feel safe in your relationship.
Well said.
You're listening to The Pelvic Freak Show
with your hosts, Amanda Neary and Hannah Meyer. Hey, Pelvic Freaks. Welcome back to another episode of The Pelvic Freak Show.
Where your freaks for us and where freaks for your pelvis, baby.
How was your guys' Valentine's Day?
Ours was great.
Ours was great.
Yeah.
We saw each other the day before.
Did you go to omges.com like we told you to learn how to have an amazing orgasm?
Yeah, I did.
Really? How was it?
Not on Valentine's Day, but I've used it a bunch.
Oh, yeah, you have.
I love omgs.com.
If you guys missed that, link is in the show notes, omgs.com for evidence-based ways to have an orgasm.
Really good stuff. Video tutorials, written tutorials, any consumable material you enjoy.
Yeah, love that. Love me some consumable material in the orgasm format. Well, guys, if you are new here, like we said last week, we kind of like reintroduced ourselves a little bit last week as we came back from our little winter break hiatus. But welcome if you're new here. We love you already. You are a part of the Pelvic Freak gang. Today, we're going to kind of jump right into it with our episode topic because we did a lot of catching up last week. So we kind of just want to get down and dirty right away.
Speaking of dirty, what are we talking about?
We're talking about dirty little freaks, the bad kind.
Cheaters.
The kind that cheat on you.
Yeah, we're talking about cheating today.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell from the episode title.
If you couldn't tell for the reason you probably clicked on this episode.
We were actually really excited to talk about this topic today. If you guys don't know the story of how Amanda and I became friends, get ready. We're going to tell it again. Amanda, you go.
Okay, hear me out. This girl, Hannah, reaches out to me when I'm starting my practice. She wants to work with me. We have a really good interview. I hire her. And then I'm like trying to figure out this new relationship because Hannah was the first person I brought onto the team. So I was like, okay, I know that she's a culture fit and we get along and we have this in common. I didn't know how good of friends to be with you, right? And like, I feel like we were both tiptoeing around it.
Yeah.
And so we were good colleagues and whatnot. And do you want to tell the part about like a week into your time at the office? What happened?
Okay, so before I actually started with Amanda, I got brutally cheated on by my ex that I lived with. Brutally. It was when I was finishing up at my previous job, and I was an absolute mess. We were living together still, even when I started my new job with Amanda. So I was just miserable. And this person wasn't just a cheater. This person was a serial cheater. Mm-hmm. Didn't stop, okay? This person was not going to stop. It was like cheating was their game. And they were going to keep playing till the end. Mm-hmm. And I was just very naive at the time and didn't have a lot of self-worth. So we'll talk more details on that soon. But I start this new job and I'm trying to navigate, my love life and relationship is completely fallen apart. I need to figure out where I'm going to move. I also have this new job, so I want to look mentally stable, even though I'm completely unstable. And my mind was a mess. So I'm like battling. I'm like, I'm not going to tell my boss, right? Now you go.
So while she's having this mental battle, my relationship is also falling apart. And it had been for a while. It was a classic case of I fell out of love with this person, but we lived together. We had talked about like getting married in the next year. I think a week or so before the cheating, we had talked about engagement at some point. It was a ton of whiplash where I was like, do I hate him? Do I like him? Am I still in this? But there was a lot of fighting, and I was starting to just resent like being in the relationship. And I was also keeping it together at work. I think it was a little different because we had had ups and downs throughout the relationship. So I was more emotionally removed than I think you were, because yours was more of a shock factor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't even cross my mind to bring it up to you, because I think one day you had said, oh yeah, I got cheated on. Like you told me, and I immediately went into advice mode. Like, how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? And then I think you were talking about how you were like coping with it, or whether you were going to stay with him.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay, I get it. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it. But I didn't really bring my version of it up, because mine happened like 2 weeks after that. And then it just didn't seem as bad, to be honest. I was like out of there that day, because you were looking for a new apartment and you had told me why. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can I get your real estate agent's info?
Yeah.
I need to move out of my ex's apartment today. Mm-hmm. And I did. I did like that weekend.
And it made me feel a lot better about moving out.
Yeah.
Because I was still like, am I moving out? Like, what am I doing? Yeah. You know, because you're like, when you first get cheated on, it's like, annoyingly, if it's the first time and it is a shock and you were completely blindsided about it. For me, I didn't instantly want to break up. It was because I was so shocked. I was just like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. So I thought I didn't know if I wanted to fix it or work towards it or what I was going to do. But I'm so happy that I got out of there.
Yeah.
Because it was never going to stop.
Yeah. Are we getting into the ways we found out about cheating and how we immediately responded to it?
Yeah, so let's the purpose of this topic. Okay, so you got cheated on. Let's talk about your sex life. And we're giving you this backstory because both Amanda and I have been cheated on in different ways, and equally it's all as bad. And it really does fuck with your mental. So if you recently did get cheated on, we both want you to know we feel where you're at, and that sucks. Yeah. And we can talk about a little bit into detail about what happened with us. I feel like hearing similar stories actually helps because you know other people have gone through it. I think getting cheated on, for me, it's something that I never ever thought would happen to me. I was so naive and trusted people so blindly that when it happened, and this person was lying to me for such an extended period of time, I was like, oh my God, my world completely shattered, because I had envisioned my world and what my life would look like. And then all of a sudden, that all turned black. Mm-hmm. I couldn't see what my future was like anymore. Like, it completely changed everything. Looking back now, it is literally the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I would do it again, even though it was torturous. Those, I don't know, even like 6 months being miserable and trying to pick myself up again, I would go through it again and again to be where I'm at today, 100%. So I hope that someone hearing this, that helps you, especially if that has happened recently. Mm-hmm. It gets so much better. And I found so much more self-worth. Anyways, going off about how I found out I got cheated on, God, oh my God, I don't even know, dude. Because looking back, looking back, it happened as soon as maybe the first night that I moved in with this person, the first night. And I was actually telling my current partner this last night because I just realized it. The first night I moved in with my ex, I went out. One of my friends from home was visiting. That Chicago just happened to be visiting that weekend. And I was like, oh, I just moved into my new apartment. Like, let's go out and celebrate, whatever. So we all went out, and my ex was with us, and then his brother was in town. So he was like, oh, I'm just going to go with my brother to another bar. You girls like hang out, do your thing. And I was like, that's fine. I want to hang out with my girls anyways. So I get home at like 2 a.m, whatever. And then he's not home yet. And then his brother comes home to our apartment by himself. I'm like, where's my ex, whatever. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I lost him, blah, blah, blah. This guy's phone's dead. My ex's phone's dead. I don't know where he is. He comes home at 7 a.m.
Oh my God.
He says that his phone died and that he walked all the way home because he didn't know where to go. And it took him like that amount of time to get home. And I believed it, bro. I believed it. There's no way. This guy definitely went to some girl's house. Like, you're telling me you were wandering the streets of Chicago at 7 a.m. and this is like in April. It was like freezing out.
Also, there's nowhere in the city that it would take me that long to walk home in Chicago.
Go to any bar and ask for a phone charger.
Yeah.
Ask someone to call you an Uber.
Get a cab and then give them cash when you get home.
I was so naive, dude. Looking back, that's the first time. The first time I actually know of that I got cheated on was and I didn't find this out until probably like January, and this was like in May, maybe. He went on a bachelor party and was accusing me of cheating on him. He was tracking my location and saw that I was at a bar and started accusing me of cheating on him. I was like, with my friend Sophie, and we're having margaritas. I don't know what to tell you. He was cheating on me in the bachelor party. So that was great. And then the big one was when I found out all of this, and there were definitely times between then that I just was naive about too. Deflection is key. If they're deflecting and accusing you, holy shit, girl.
Totally.
That's a tell. The big one for me was, let's see, the Christmas party. He had invited me to his company Christmas party and then uninvited me randomly, like a week later. He's like, oh, actually, partners aren't allowed to come. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because up until now, like, I've been coming. And he apparently had a whole thing going with his coworker for who knows how long, because he came home drunk at like 3 a.m. And I obviously saw the phone on the table. I said, I'm going to check this out. I was sick at home, by the way. And I looked at the phone and I saw the text. I said, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
That feeling of seeing the text and your heart just sinks.
Oh, my God. And I had no idea because I was just so naive to all the things prior, because they tell you, they lie, dude. It's so tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then I like went into panic mode.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, and I went crazy for sure. You already know.
Crazy is a strong
Crazy
word.
in a good way.
You stayed with him. You moved out. Can you also tell the one that made you end it all? Because that one like makes my skin crawl.
Oh my God, this one. So that happened, but he still was like gaslighting me, saying like it was just a kiss, like whatever. I was thinking like, okay, maybe that's not that bad. And I didn't know at this time about the previous ones. I started like putting these together later, and then he eventually told me. But I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to stay with him. Our lease wasn't up until March anyways, and this was like New Year's Eve. So we had those 3 months where we were I was kind of like, I kicked him out for a little bit and then was trying to like work on building trust back. And he was like, yeah, like, I love you, whatever. He went out one night and I don't know, he just liked to go out. And then the next day, his phone was sitting on the nightstand and I see a Venmo notification pop up and it's for Plan B, a girl requesting him for Plan B for going out the previous night. I said, I am done. I don't know. It was just so stupid. He still tried to gaslight me, but I found that girl's Instagram. I took a screenshot of it, or I took a picture of it from my phone, and found her Instagram and DM'd her, and she told me everything. And thank God for that girl. Yeah. She was so nice she was like, I'll tell you anything you want to hear. This guy is skeezy. Like, don't trust him. Like, this is every single thing that happened to a T. Maybe didn't need that many details, but thank God, because he gave me the kick I needed to actually get out of there. Yeah. And yeah. That's a rough timeline of the story. I feel like it was so long ago now that, you start to forget certain things, but
I still remember some things that you told me after all that, because he obviously tried to get back into your life and then admitted to like the time at the bachelor party. You didn't know about that till after you were broken up, right? He like ended up telling you that later.
Yeah, he told me that later. Yeah.
It's just crazy. Yeah. Mine was, I would say, less satisfying from a listener perspective because I didn't have a lot of closure with it. There were multiple points in my relationship, especially looking back, but even during, where I went on a bachelor party to Miami and my ex was accusing me of things the whole weekend. And I'm like, literally, why? Because you would be doing sketchy stuff at a bachelor party.
Same thing. Same vibe.
Bachelor. I was at a bachelorette. He was like, that's what he would be doing at a bachelor.
It's the deflection.
It's the deflection. And the fact that like that weekend, he was like, oh, well, I have to do something with my boys this weekend then if you're going to be at a bachelorette party. And I'm like, that's the biggest ick in hindsight. But anyway.
Dude, but these, honestly, though, in my opinion, are almost worse because it's like quiet cheating.
Yeah.
It's like what my ex did to me was so just like blatant, obvious disrespect. Like, I don't give a shit about you. I'm going to go fuck whoever I want.
Literally, your
and
ex at one point was like, I'll keep cheating on you if we stay together.
Oh, no, he told me, he said, if we stay together, I'm going to keep cheating on you. I don't think I can stop. And I think at the time I was like, maybe we can make it work. Because you have no self-worth. They like lie and lie. And then that's not even like, in my opinion now, like it's not my fault. Like it's like the quietness of them breaking you down to making you feel like you need them, even though they're cheating 100%. On you so aggressively and treating you so bad, you still somehow are manipulated into thinking you need them. Mm-hmm. Because I remember he would be so nice to me.
Yeah.
All the time. He would do all the like things that a man's supposed to do. Right. And I thought were, you know, paid for everything to the point where I never ever paid for a single thing and almost like felt like I needed that, you know? Yeah. It was weird. Anyways, but it was different types of cheating, but that cheating almost like that your ex did scares me so much more because it puts you in that limbo feeling of like, well, it's not technically cheating. Mm-hmm. Well, until I actually did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were a lot of moments where, and to be fully honest, not the best partner I've had. I've had much better love than I got from this person, but I was still working through. I had an experience in grad school that like made me feel worthy of a certain type of love for a while. And this was my resultant relationship from that feeling. But I had been with partners prior to that were much better partners. And the love was so much better. So in this relationship, I was like, already sometimes I knew that I was more worthy of what I was getting from it. But there were times when he was a great partner. So the good outweighed the bad until it didn't. Mm-hmm. And my ex had alcohol issues. So that was another big piece of it where I had a lot of empathy for him. And for a year of our relationship, he was sober and was really trying. And I would say that was our best year. And then the second New Year's came around, that was over. And it was like, okay, I did my year and now I can party again. And then that's when things started to just go downhill for me because I felt like I was babysitting. And he was very much a yes man to a specific friend of his who had a lot of money. He was an ex-pro athlete and he just felt like he couldn't say no when that person asked him to do things. So I ended up like attending a bunch of nights out that I would never choose for myself. Mm-hmm. And looking back, I'm like, that was such an era and I will never do that again. But we were dating before I even knew this person was part of his life. So I was like already sucked into the relationship when he suddenly moved back to Chicago and then was part of every one of our weekends.
Dude.
And that friend is a serial cheater. His best friend is a serial cheater. And I was like, I actively hate all of his friends.
The friends, dude. The
100%.
Friends. That should have been the red flag for me at the beginning is that his friends were absolutely terrible.
No, they're awful.
They were
awful.
Terrible to women. Mm-hmm. They were terrible people. And why in my head did I think, oh, but my man's not like that?
Right. Same.
These are his friends.
Yeah.
He's definitely like that. Yeah. When you're not around, he is going to be exactly like his friends. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he knew I hated his best friend and would purposely be like, this person's going to be there. You might not want to be there. And I'm like, that's so bad. Anyway, he did the thing at the bachelorette party. That was when we started getting friction. That was when he like added alcohol back in. And then later that year, there were just a few moments back to back where I was like, this can't be my life anymore. I think I'm going to break up with him. But we were living together. I was starting my business. I just had too many moving parts to physically move out at that point. So I was kind of emotionally removed from the relationship. And then he was traveling to Spain for work and invited me on an extended trip with him. And I ended up deciding not to go. I said, you go. We kind of need this time. We'll reconnect. Like when you get back, we'll work stuff out, whatever. We were still together. It was just nice to not be with him for a minute. Mm-hmm. He got back before the holidays. And then I honestly forget how January went. It was all touch and go. I had you starting. I was so busy. I didn't really care. And then he went on a trip to the West Coast, came back. It was Valentine's week. And then that was good. We got in a fight, and then that was good. And then he went out with this friend he couldn't say no to ever on a random Thursday night. Wasn't texting me all night. His location wasn't loading.
God, dude, that feeling is so terrible.
Gets home at 3 or 4 a.m. and is so drunk. And I'm like, it's literally Thursday. I have a patient at 7 a.m. And he's being loud and trying to hang out with me. And I'm like, I'm sleeping. This is so disrespectful. And he's like, fine. So then sometimes he would pick fights with me if he was too drunk. And he would kind of be really mean. Mm-hmm. And because I was like, please let me sleep, he was like, I'm going to go sleep on the couch, whatever.
This is exactly how it happened for me, dude.
Yeah.
Came home at 3 a.m., was drunk as hell, fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah. Left his phone in the bed.
You also checked the texts?
Open. Yeah. That's how I found out.
We're the same story for that.
So I see his phone. It's open. I had his password, but I literally never once in this relationship went through his phone, which I wish I did earlier. It started a spiral because I saw immediately, I swipe it, it's open, immediate text messages, first screen. I didn't even have to click on messages. It was with this woman from the bar that he was just at. And it was horrifying. He had met her that night, was talking about hooking up with her, blah, 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 and then ended up coming home. Then I went through his deleted messages, and I just went through everything I could at that point. I went through Instagram DMs. I saw so many messages.
Were you tears, freaking out?
No,
or no?
I did not.
Because you were emotionally removed already.
I was like, okay, I'm officially leaving. This is what I needed to leave.
Hell yeah.
But there was still I didn't even feel shocked. I had been cheated on where I did feel shocked. In college when I was young. Mm-hmm. That was my first experience where I was like, oh my God, I never thought this could happen to me. When this happened, I fully expected that that's what I was going to find when I opened his phone. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't the shock factor, but it was still that sinking feeling of this is exactly what I knew what I was going to find. There were women's names in his phone with the drooling emoji next to them that he had exchanged messages with recently.
Oh my God, that actually makes me want to throw up and die.
Yeah, it was so disgusting. And obviously, you can put 2 and 2 together and assume that he had physically cheated on me at some point, but I never got that actual confirmation. So I did what you did. I messaged the girl. I pulled her number, texted her from my phone, said hey, I'm his girlfriend. We live together. Could you give me any details about last night? I saw some messages between you. She told me exactly what happened. She's like, I had no idea he had a partner. I'll tell you everything. Good. They just flirted. They didn't go home together. She exchanged numbers, and then they were texting flirty. But she's like, yeah, I wouldn't trust him. And I was like, thank you for letting me know. Hope you have a good life or whatever.
God,
I said something nice, and then we stopped talking. So I screenshotted all the messages I found on his phone, sent them to myself, and then deleted them on his phone. And I just prepped myself with all of the receipts. And then I got up, 6:30, went to work for the day, asked for your real estate agent's info, called her during lunch, already had listings sent to me at 3 p.m. I texted my best friend because I used to live with her and her husband when they first moved into their condo, and they have a spare room. And I said, hey, if I move out of my apartment today, can I live with you until I move into my new apartment that I'm actively looking for? And she said, yep. So I went home at 3 p.m. I texted my ex and I said, I want to talk to him when I get home. And I sat on the couch and he goes, I know that you're mad about last night because I was really drunk. And I said, do you know exactly what I'm mad about? And I asked him the questions and I was like, okay, so who's this person? And I said the girl's name from the bar. And he's like, I don't know. Tried to gaslight me.
God, I hate that dude.
And then I was like, okay, so if I say that I saw messages from them from last night, do you have anything to say for yourself? And he's like, okay, yeah, I guess I was flirty, but I didn't do anything. And still tried to write it off. And then eventually I was just like, I'm moving out. This isn't, there's nothing we could say to make this work at this point. My only regret is I didn't get mad enough. I think I let him off too easy. I was just like, bye. And then I was just always so cordial.
No, you did it so good, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I was so jealous of how you handled it. Because you just were like, I don't deserve this. Packed your shit up and got out of there.
Yeah.
We have some very similar stories of how we found out.
Yeah.
Only when I found out, I was a little bit more shocked because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
But I literally did the same thing where I screenshotted everything. I texted his coworker and she was like, I just wouldn't trust him, but wasn't giving me any details, you know? So I like still.
She still liked him.
Probably. So and she knew that he had a girlfriend and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, so this guy. I was still nice to the girl. Like I just still, she's not in my relationship, but still. And then it took 2 girls that I had to text for me to get the hell out of there. That's so annoying.
When you have that shock factor, though, that's what happened
You're
to me
blinded,
in college.
and then they lie to you and they gaslight you. And it's nothing. It's nothing. I don't even like her. And
right.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think that, like, for you truly being shocked by it and having that initial reaction, I'm not surprised at all that it took another instance for that to actually happen.
Now, if that happened again, God forbid I ever do that. No way. I'm getting the hell out of there as soon as possible. I am not giving a second chance for that.
Yeah. I just,
everyone's story is different, but for me, because I know how much better it can get when you finally get out of a situation like that, I know that I didn't. I knew I needed more.
Here's my cheating hot take. I think the way people handle cheating and the lying around it, and I honestly think the gaslighting is worse than the cheating itself.
It is.
Because if you had come to me and said, I fucked up last night, I truly am sorry, I cheated on you, and offered me every detail I asked for, instead of making me feel crazy for thinking that something happened that I know happened, the fact that you're willing to make your partner feel crazy to make yourself feel better about something you did is a bigger red flag to me than the human mistake of like cheating. Not that that's like okay then. The partner still has the say to say like, I don't want to be with you anymore. But to admit that you made a mistake and allow them to respond to it how they want to is so much better than doing that and then also gaslighting them.
I agree. I 100% agree, because I have other friends that have been cheated on and their partner was completely different, where they come forward and explain what happened and really work to make it up and honor that mistake. And they're like, I really fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't deserve you, blah, blah, blah. I'll do whatever it takes. That's a very much a different vibe.
Yeah.
Because the gaslighting, it makes you literally crazy.
No, and then when you think back on it later, even if you worked through that and decided, okay, he finally admitted it, they finally admitted it, and we worked through it, the fact that they gaslit you later, that's going to give you the ick. It's never going to work. The fact that you got gaslit, no, it's not going to work. Cheating, I can empathize with in a way where, like, I can understand a human temptation happening. That doesn't mean you have the right to act on it. You should respect the boundary of your relationship. But that is more respectable to me than lying about it. Which cheating is lying. So I'm not like justifying cheating, but I think that's where I think it's not the worst thing a human can do.
Yeah.
Is to find people attractive and want to be involved with them. They should probably be polyamorous, or in an E&M situation, you might not want to be in a monogamous relationship and you haven't figured that out, and you're hurting someone in the process, and that sucks. But like, that is not like an irredeemable quality to have.
Yeah. No, I'm there with you. My cheating hot take would be what I said earlier, which is it is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I would say every single time someone has disrespected me in a similar fashion, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
In the moment, you feel like you're dying. And then 6 months from them, you've never been more confident. You know exactly what you want. You won't put up with bullshit anymore. And yeah, you're just going to be a better version of yourself.
100%.
Oh, what the heck does this have to do with pelvic health?
But anyways,
honestly, our stories probably took longer than we expected. But I think anyone listening to this episode called So You Got Cheated On probably can relate to what we've said on some level, whether it's the shock factor, how you found out, whether you were gaslit. These are patterns in people who tend to cheat, right? So there's something you're relating to in this episode. We're sorry that happened to you. If it was recent, I'm very sorry, because you're still in the thick of that horrible feeling. But we can be a reassurance that it absolutely gets better. And it's almost never worth staying with someone who treats you like that.
And you deserve so much more. And you deserve so much
Yeah.
more. And this is coming from a place where Amanda and I were both living with someone, but we didn't have kids, family, dogs, those kind of connections where you feel like you have to stay even more. So that's honestly a place of privilege for us that we were able to get the heck out of there. And we know that there's layers. So everyone's situation is different. But if you are in a situation where you're being gaslit and lied to, and you literally your hair is falling out, you're not eating, you've completely lost all self-confidence and self-worth, like, I know how you feel. And that sucks so bad. And it really messes with your sex life because it messes with your self-confidence. It messes with your self-worth. You feel super insecure. We know these are all things that will affect your ability to have an orgasm or to have enjoyable sex or even want to have sex at all. So cheating can definitely 100% impact how you feel about sex.
Totally. Even long after the fact, even in your next relationship, maybe something you did with your cheating ex gives you a visceral reaction that you weren't expecting because it reminds you of having sex with someone who disrespected you and you had a horrifying breakup with this person. That's a body's learned trauma response. That's similar to people that we see with vaginismus or conditions that are reflexive, where the body responds a certain way, but you're not mentally aware of it even or wanting that to happen. It's an unwanted visceral response. That can linger for years after being cheated on or being traumatized in that way.
I think there's a safety component too, because your safety is threatened, like feeling safe with someone, feeling like you can trust someone, that's all broken. Even when you go into a next relationship, you really have to start with the communication and the trust and being very open and honest about your experience as much as you want to disclose or don't want to disclose, as long as you can communicate that with your partner to try to build upon that. That's my biggest tip. It takes a lot of communication.
Yeah. And the safety component, that's a great point because it's your safety that you feel in the relationship, but it's also your physical safety because cheaters could be bringing home diseases, infections that you didn't consent to being involved with someone that was with other people. So you might not be having the safest sex with your monogamous partner who's doing things on the side.
That's scary.
That's scary. That would be scary to build that trust with a new person and have the expectation like, this is monogamous. You're going to respect me and be faithful to me.
I will say this. I was already in therapy and then worked on this right away, right out the cages. And it took a lot of work, but it helped me so much to get through it. So highly recommend if you are someone going through this situation. I expected myself to be a lot more paranoid and a lot more, what's the word? Distrustful? Is that the word?
Yeah, it's a word.
Yeah, it's a word, right? I was expecting myself to not trust as easily. I was thinking I was going to be the person in the relationship with my guards up, always on my toes, maybe a little crazy, like, what are you doing tonight, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like that at all for me because the person that I started dating next time, I completely showed me that I could trust them, showed me that I could trust them.
Because the communication's on point.
The communication right from the start. And I was up front and was like, this is what happened to me. And I cannot go through that again. So I'm just telling you. And
the person that you end up dating next could play a big factor, which it will for every single person. It's going to be different. I would say big takeaways for cheating and trusting and communicating with new partners is definitely trusting your gut. That gut reaction that you had from cheating, depending on how long it's been, you might not trust it because I trusted this person and they were able to do this to me. So how could I trust another person? That's where things like therapy, whether it's tools that you're finding from therapy or ongoing talk therapy that helps you with that, helps you trust in who you are so much that your intuition feels like it's part of you again. Because then it won't be as scary to be with someone new.
It's a combo of doing your own self-work, having open and clear, honest communication, and building trust and establishing what you need in order to build that trust.
Yeah.
Whether that's in a new way now that this has happened to you.
Another maybe hot take is, don't you always actually know
You kind of do.
You kind of always know. Whether it's looking back, but even in the moment, it's like, how much assurance am I seeking? Anytime you're asking a question to another party about a relationship, reflecting on something, your gut is telling you something, right? It's like, it's not always a deal breaker situation, but when it's cheating, it's like, I just feel like I always actually know.
Yeah. And like looking back, the first two stories I told about cheating, I didn't realize those at the time, but I kind of knew though, because he came home at 7 a.m. and I kind of was suspicious about it before he even said anything, right? I was getting gaslit while he was on the bachelor party, and that was a month after we moved in together. But I'm like, we just moved in together, blah, blah, blah. You talk yourself out. If you find yourself talking yourself out of it,
or hiding that information from your friends,
you start to feel so uneasy,
making excuses for them.
If you notice you're not even hanging out with your friends, if you've lost your friends, but you think it to yourself, oh, it's just because I'm with my partner all the time and we love each other and we're building a life together and blah, blah, blah. Like, no. If you notice that, oh, your friends aren't reaching out to you to go out anymore, your friends aren't reaching you out to you for girls' nights, you've lost friendships and it's centered around this person, red flags all around.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it's, even if you're not conscious of it, the fact that you got home at 7 a.m., where were you? Not an automatic, like, I was worried because something must have happened to you because I trust you so innately that I know you wouldn't be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different feeling.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And I think at the time I was like very concerned. I'm like, are you okay? I thought you were dead. But
yeah,
it was just so sketchy and so weird. And the story wasn't making sense, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're getting into a sex life with a new partner and you're worried because the last time you opened up to someone and were really intimate in that way with someone, it ended horribly. Your soul was crushed. You had to go through this healing process. Number one piece of advice, communicate, which you already talked about with your current relationship and how you were open about what happened to you, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept. If that feels like too much at the beginning and you do want to take it more casually, maybe you don't want a partner right away. Maybe you want to just date around and see what you like. Still communicate what you do like, because the more you respect yourself and are dating for what you desire, the more you're in tune with your body you're going to feel and the less anxious around either pleasing someone else or what happens if those what ifs that come with a new sex life or experiencing things again that didn't feel good in the past. Yeah, you're not going to experience that as much if you are in tune with your own body more.
Here's another positive about cheating. We are big fans over here because it changed our lives for the better, even though it is soul crushing.
Yeah.
Here's my positive about cheating is that it teaches you the red flags to look for in future partners and future whatever, even if it's just people to have sex with, even if it's an actual relationship that you're looking for, you can pick up on those red flags. And kind of it predetermines what that is going to look like almost. Because I remember I was seeing someone after I got cheated on, but this person would leave me drunk voicemails, would be like, hey, like, Hannah, like, I want to meet up with, like, but it would be obliterated, went out all the time. I'm like, this isn't what I want. This is giving me, even though in the moment it's like, oh, it's so cute. He's leaving me a voicemail. He's thinking about me. That's what I would have thought maybe before.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, what is this going to look like a year from now?
Right.
It's going to look like he's coming home at 4 a.m. and I'm in bed sick. And then I open his phone and then there's texts with other women of him leaving drunk voicemails to them and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it gives you that guideline. So listen to your intuition with your future partners and the future people you just decide to spend your time with. And that will help you to find a partner you can trust.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Now, this is going to be the hardest thing we talk about probably, because if you decide to stay with someone who cheated and you're working on rebuilding that intimacy and that trust and that sex life, how do you do it? If you have decided to forgive them, but your body maybe isn't there yet because we know that these things live in our bodies, these feelings. It's like, maybe I don't have every physical sensation I used to have with you yet. Or I don't have all of these desires, but I have decided to forgive you. The way you handled it was the best way you could. Cheating isn't the very worst thing a human could do. So I've decided that that's not a deal breaker for me. But my bones are telling me something different. And maybe our sex life isn't the same. How are you approaching that? Like, what advice would you give a patient?
So I would start by saying it takes what we said, how we said it's more important how people react after the cheating. It can't be the lying and the gaslighting and everything. It can't be one-sided. It's got to be both people deciding to put in the work, because it really is harder, I think, to stay and do that work. But you could come out potentially stronger if you both are in it for your relationship and want to do the work and want to stay together and you are ready for that. So it takes both of you. My advice would be definitely a couples therapy sesh. Book it ASAP. And that actually is what I did. It didn't end up working out for me, but the reason it didn't work out for me is because it was one-sided. My experience was the person gaslighting and lying and continuing to do what they wanted to do, and me trying to hold on for dear life to a relationship I should not have been holding on to.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been different if this person was like, hey, I want to prove to you that I am in it for you. I'm in it for this relationship. I want to work on us. I'm going to take the appropriate steps to better myself, but we got to do things to better our relationship as a whole, right? And it takes work from both parties. What else advice do you have?
Here's my thing. If it were me, by the way, my ex and I were in couples therapy for 7 months before I found out any of that.
I forgot you were also in couples therapy.
We were in it for a lot of our relationship because of his like alcohol issues and lifestyle issues that didn't line up with what it wasn't even, I don't know. It was mostly the alcohol stuff, but we ended up staying in it. And parts of it were just like, we were in a really good spot. So we went for future planning, and then something would happen and it would become like damage control. So we just stayed.
Can I say something about that? Because I told my friends that I was in couples therapy after this, and so many of my friends judged me and said, like, you guys aren't even married. Why are you in couples therapy?
Get over it.
Yeah, get over it, guys. Like, if you decide couples therapy is what's best for you, no matter what phase of your relationship you're at, it can't hurt anything.
Also, couples therapy a lot of times does lead to breakups. That's a positive thing, in my opinion. If you go to therapy with someone and work through months of issues with them and decide at the end of the day, this isn't going to work for me, and therapy helped you get there, that's still a positive outcome. That's therapy doing its job.
Yeah.
It should be helping you with amicable separations. I think that's partly why my breakup was smooth, because I had worked in therapy. I had all these realizations, like, maybe this isn't right for me.
So true.
So it was just easy to leave. It was just easy.
That's such a good point.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of couples therapy, even if you are not married. Get over it.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be. And another thing about couples therapy, you don't have to be in a bad place in order to do couples therapy.
Yeah.
I've known people to do couples therapy and do monthly check-ins.
I would argue that anytime you're making a big life decision together, having a therapist that you trust that you can consult on for it is a good thing to have. Like, we're moving in together, we're having a child, we're planning a wedding. Like, these are big things that people do together. And it's like, okay, if you want to like have a few sessions to talk that through, it's more of a planning session.
On top of that, individual therapy.
Big time.
Outside of your couples therapy, you can't just be in couples therapy, because like I said before, it's not just the couple and the relationship that needs to be mended. It's each person needs to also be mended in different ways. The person that their trust was broken, and then the person that did the trust breaking, right? And those are different ways that therapy can help. That within the couples therapy, that's not going to approach that the same way. So that's another part where it does take a lot of work. Both ways are going to take work, whether you decide to move on or whether you decide to stay.
Choose your hard. Here's my thing. If I get cheated on and I decide to stay, hypothetical scenario, because I probably wouldn't, but who knows? I'm getting my hall pass. I'm using it. And then after that, we can start the process of trusting each other again. My biggest thing I would want to know is where the insecurity came from, because it's almost never a true, like, this person's better than my partner. And if it is, they'll leave you, right? If they're truly more in love with the person they cheated on you with, they're going to leave you and be with them. If they're trying to stay with you, it came from some insecure place, and they need to be doing individual therapy. That would be my number one. If you're not in therapy, I can't be with you. You have to work through that.
I would say the cheating is rarely, oh, I found this person and they're hotter and better
Right.
and funnier. And it's never that, which women a lot of the times, maybe men too, but I'm a woman, so I'm not sure. But I feel like they start to compare themselves to the other woman, right? It's rarely about that.
It has nothing to do with them.
Especially like when a man is cheating.
We've seen the celebrities that get cheated on, and every time in the comments it's like, I can't believe he could cheat on Nina Dobrev. It's like, yeah, she's gorgeous. It had nothing to do with her.
Wait, did that happen?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck
They
up.
broke up.
They broke up because he cheated on her?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
I know. It's sick. Because how could you cheat on Nina Dobrev? And I'm one of those people right now. Oh my God. But that goes to show you that it is not about what the other person looked like. It doesn't matter. It's not about that.
This is the fucked up thing about cheating, because it makes you think, like, what could I have done better? Should I have done this more? Should I have just blah, blah, blah? I literally was in the living room with my boyfriend yesterday. I said, hey, watch this. I jumped up and did a split in the air and farted, and he still laughed at me, and we had sex later, and it was great. Okay? Like, you should be able to date someone where you can be gross, disgusting goblin gremlin, and you guys still love each other at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter as long as you have that connection. Okay?
Yeah.
You do not need to change yourself for this person. If you feel that way, that's something that should be one of those red flags that we were talking about. Okay?
Yeah. And if you can rebuild that with someone that was unfaithful, or you were unfaithful and you're trying to rebuild that, sure, I'm sure it's possible. But maybe get a hall pass first. That's my hot take.
Get the hall pass.
Even the playing field, will ya?
At the end of the day, we're not sex therapists. We're giving you our own advice based off of Amanda and I have both been through cheating situations.
Yeah.
And our situations may be more unique to us, and yours could be different, right? We said we could be at different stages, but at the end of the day, this advice could apply to anyone going through a situation like this. Even if it's quiet cheating, where someone hasn't actually cheated on you, hasn't actually fucked someone else or whatever it is, but they're staying out late and they're texting other women or other people, and it's sketchy, and there's just buildup over time. If you're going through that, I feel for you, and you deserve so much better.
Yeah. And if your reaction in a relationship is, I'll leave if I get hard evidence of cheating, you already left. You already left mentally. You're out of there.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what style of cheating it was, because that was a thing for me. Oh, it was just a kiss, blah, blah, blah. Think about how it makes you feel.
Right.
If this person didn't even actually go and fuck someone, whatever it was, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's based on how you feel. Do you feel like you were disrespected in the relationship? Whether it's he texted Junie B. Jones after work and you don't trust Junie B. Jones, or whatever it is this person actively respecting you in a relationship, or actively disrespecting you and choosing to time and time again? How does that make you feel? Because that's going to affect your sex life too. It's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect your ability to keep trusting this person and feel safe in your relationship.
Well said.
Yeah,
This was a longer episode than I anticipated,
it was.
but I think it was all good stuff. I
got
hope you guys got something out of it.
We hope you guys got something out of that.
Leave us a comment. We have a new story and submission link in our Instagram bio, so you can leave us a story of yours. Maybe cheating would be a good story time.
We could totally talk more about this. And
Why haven't we done a cheating story time?
I think it's because we finally both feel comfortable and safe enough to be talking about those situations. I don't feel anything when I talk about it anymore.
That would be a really good one.
What?
A cheating story time.
Oh, yeah. Cheating
Like
story
have
time.
people submit their cheating stories?
Yeah. It feels good to be able to talk this out.
Yeah. I think let's do that coming up.
Okay. Well, guys, you heard it here. Would you be into that?
Yeah, let us know.
Leave a comment on this episode And maybe we'll leave a comment box on our story to see if you guys are interested too.
Yeah.
And we can get into more details, more sexual health details too there, because today was just a little bit of a ranty sode and general advice sesh, I'd say.
But we love y'all and hope you're doing well. And make sure you're following us on social media at The Pelvic Freak Show.
Yes, guys, if you are going through it, listening to this episode, I hope it helped you a little bit. And leave a comment if it did.
Yeah.
Leave us a rating. Leave us 5 stars too, because we give the best advice ever.
And we need to expand our reach. Thank you. Love y'all.
So we can give more people this advice and help them step into their bad bitch pelvic freak selves.
Absolutely.
Because you deserve the best and you are a bad bitch.
All right. Bye, Pelvic Freaks.
Bye, pelvic freaks.